Floyd's spending problem is the reason why he's going broke. I was able to go directly to the source to get private information that hasn't been shared publicly yet, to discuss the recent lawsuit that sent shockwaves throughout the sports world. Mayweather suing former associate in an alleged $175 million fraud scheme. That associate, Jonah, shared with me private text messages, private images of Floyd signing contracts, and access to private communication with this team. And the proof I've been given will contradict everything you've heard in the news about this case. By going through all of the claims presented in the lawsuit, I'll share all the private information that I have access to so we can understand fully what's going on with Floyd Mayweather. In 2017, Rechnitz and Mayweather became friends, which ultimately led to Rechnitz becoming Floyd's investment manager, real estate advisor, and banking liaison. Jonah helped put deals together for Floyd. He was his manager. So that's sponsorships, real estate deals, and fights, just to name a few revenue streams. Jonah shared with me that he was not on salary, meaning he only made money when there was a commission on finding a deal. As an example, Jonah shared with me that Floyd was running out of money in 2020. So Jonah put together a fight with Logan Paul to generate income, as well as many other exhibition fights. Turns out the only people actually punching Floyd in the face at this time were the IRS debt collectors. More on that in a minute. The first big claim that Floyd makes is that he wasn't aware that in 2016, Rechnitz had pleaded guilty to wire fraud conspiracy, that Rechnitz had cooperated with the United States attorney, or that Rechnitz had been the subject of significant civil litigation.
Now, Floyd got in bed with these people. Now, my whole thing is we watched Floyd for years, showboat online, showboat in front of his people, do all kinds of weird stuff, talk about money, how much money he got, but we know he can't read. We know he can't read contracts, right? So now he get in bed with these W folks. We saw him pledging his allegiance to that protected group. We saw him. We saw him over there, and everybody was wondering, is that AI? Is that an AI video? No one wanted an AI video. He was in bed with them people, right? And now, he was spending money crazy. They was getting him to make investments, and the whole time they was siphoning his money away, man. So we heard that he made over $750 million and maybe well over $1 billion, right? But then at some point he started hemorrhaging money. Why? How? Why didn't you have the people around you that you should have had, right? He said that he didn't know that dude Jonah, man, had been in trouble with the feds. He testified. He did all this. He said he didn't know. But now these, they done sent their folks out here now to bring receipts to make him look like he's a liar, right? They got the money. Now they running, man. You ain't getting no money back, man. You down bad.
What Floyd's attorney was trying to do with this complaint is make it look like Floyd was taken advantage of by a guy with a questionable past. Like Floyd is this innocent victim who had no idea who this guy really was. There's a little problem with that, because I have proof he did know. This letter on the screen was sent in 2023 by Floyd Mayweather to a U.S. District Judge for the Southern District of New York. The bottom includes Floyd's name and his signature. For context, this is Floyd Mayweather's letter to the judge in Jonah Rechnitz's case, speaking about Jonah's character and why he deserves a better outcome. In the second paragraph, he writes, "We became friendly and I supported him when he was going through the process of being sentenced in 2019. That sounds to me like he knew about Jonah's litigation in New York." In the third paragraph, he writes that Jonah has worked with him as his promoter and business advisor. He has taken the job and run with it, helping Floyd in every aspect and opening up new opportunities. He further mentions the charitable work they've done together. Further down, he mentions that people have tried to take advantage of Jonah by bringing lawsuits against him as a way to extort him. And finally, Floyd writes, "I appreciate you taking the time to read this letter, Your Honor. I would just ask that you consider my personal testimony that Jonah Rechnitz is a good person." He claimed that he didn't know about Jonah's past in the complaint, yet he wrote that letter in support of Jonah, showing he clearly knew about the litigation in New York. So it doesn't seem to add up. Many have speculated that Mayweather is coming out of retirement for a rematch with Pacquiao because he needs the money. Yes, this is why. Around August 2025, Floyd needed cash money, so he decided to start pawning his jewelry. Here's a text on August 25th, 2025 of Jonah sending Floyd an image of his watch and the word loan below. That represents that watch as being within the group that was being pawned. Here's the second image sent on that day. The top image is a collection of watches that were grouped together for a November loan and that many had been returned after the balance was paid down. Here's the next message of another collection of watches that were used for a loan. The image on the left is an exhibit Floyd included in the complaint. Within this list are 4 of the watches you see in the text message on the right that were included in the group of watches that were pawned. This indicates he continues to lie about not knowing that his watches were getting pawned for a loan to fund his lifestyle.
So this guy is cash strapped, right? Now mind you, he made all these hundreds of millions of dollars. So now he's pawning a watch. He has to get rid of all the watches, all his jewelry, all his women Birkin bags, everything, right? Houses going in foreclosure, cars, all of this kind of stuff. But my question is this, the one question nobody's answering. Why is this guy in control of your finances? Right? See, this is the part where I'm telling people he was never in control of anything. They was in control of him. They told him when he was going to make the money, how he was going to make the money, when he was going to fight, because he's contracted in with the Dominant Society. We've seen this playbook already. We're not shocked. We're not shocked by the playbook, right? We saw this. So now all of a sudden, because how come he don't have none of his people? Where his people at, right? You got the people from that group over there, right, in charge, and now all of a sudden you're suing them because you said they took your money, and they got, listen, they got unlimited resources. They can use the media. They can use everything to make it seem like you were stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. But we know as long as you're on their cameras under their system, and we seeing you swear to them people. We saw the video. Now all of a sudden your finances is going. Come on, man. You pledged your allegiance. That's what you did.
What was told to me is that Floyd was running out of money. Now, obviously, his broke is a lot different than broke for me and you, but at this time he needed money, so he decided to pawn $13 million from his watch collection. He does have his own jet and has flown private for a couple decades, and he has an extensive exotic car collection. But what has been shared with me is that his lifestyle is so expensive that he constantly needs to take out loans against all his assets, and it's fine when he's fighting and making money because he can pay the loans back, but it's kind of like musical chairs. Here's Floyd texting about having to give up all of his jewelry and watches and all of his women's bags. Further, he sent the text, "Don't forget about my ladies' Birkins, also that's a part of the $13 million. In December 2025, Floyd texted, "Please keep me updated on my jewelry and Birkins, thanks." Back in March, so around 7 months after he began pawning, he texted his pawn shop lender asking about the balance he owes so Jonah knows what the number is. Jonah, as Floyd's manager and the one who handles all the financial transactions, is the one who ensures that all the loans are paid off. The lender responds $1.85 million in checks, $10.8 million in jewelry, and $1.47 million in fees, and he mentions needing another $360,000 by Friday so the fees don't keep adding up. Floyd received the $13 million for pawning watches in his supposed $100 million watch collection. Jonah shared with me that people pay up to 3% per month, which is why the fees were so high. That loan was almost paid in full. If you reread Joel's message, it makes sense. Joel says, "I have recouped everything and hasn't had to sell any pieces. All that remains is another $360,000 so Floyd doesn't have to pay any more fees."
So these people was coming with receipts. This guy had to pawn in Birkin bags. He had to pawn in watches, airplanes, everything. Like, man, this guy, man. So now he got to fight. He want to go on. He want to fight Pacquiao. They was putting in these exhibition fights because he needed the money, right? He needed the money while at the same time still coming back flossing in front of black people, man. Because you ain't sent your daughter or your sons or somebody to school to learn economics, to learn how to move money around, man, right? You ain't getting in bed with the right people. You went over there with them people.
The complaint, Floyd discusses pawning his $100 million jewelry collection with the words, "to be pledged or placed in the possession of Joel, a Miami jewelry dealer." The amount received was around $13 million. A substantial portion of the pledged jewelry remains in the possession of Joel and Modi, and no accounting has been provided to Mr. Mayweather, and then alleges that the consideration received was diverted by Recknitz and not paid to Floyd. I just shared the text messages between Floyd and Joel, showing the accounting of the transaction, and that nothing seemed to be awry. This is not the first time Floyd has had to take a pawn loan. Earlier last year, he borrowed $1 million from his friend Avi, the owner of Avi & Co., against his $18 million Jacob & Co. watch. Upon research, I realized that even though the retail is $18 million, the market value is about $2 to $3 million, so Floyd's $100 million jewelry collection is more likely worth a fraction of that. Why is Floyd Mayweather pawning jewelry despite being so wealthy and always seemingly around cash? I asked Jonah how much Floyd spends every single month on his team, and Jonah estimated around $1 million, which is why he now needs to exit retirement to fight Manny Pacquiao for a payday. One of the other claims is about Floyd selling his jet and not receiving any money. There's mention in the complaint that the block for the purchaser was left blank. What the media misunderstood was that the plane wasn't sold for $1 like the complaint lists here. Here's the actual signed contract, which does list the consideration of $1 and OVC, and you can see Floyd's signature down below. I think what was misunderstood is that the plane didn't actually sell for $1. OVC means other valuable considerations, which means the sale was for more than $1. This happens when private parties don't want the amount known to the public. Here's the text message between Jonah and Floyd. Jonah sent the payoff letter from the lender of his private jet, as well as a letter from Navy Federal Credit Union regarding a $2.787 million payoff. What happened was Floyd took out a large loan against the value of the jet. So when the jet was sold, a large chunk of the money went to pay off the loan and many of his other debts. Here's the payoff demand statement for the jet. Highlighted is borrower named Floyd Mayweather. The total loan payoff is around $2.79 million, and the highlight in the bottom left is the property collateral as the Gulfstream Learjet. This is the bank wire transfer receipt from the credit union. Both of these documents were sent to Floyd, so he's clearly lying about the jet only selling for $1 and him being out of the know on the jet selling. The picture on the left is Floyd signing the contract, and the picture on the right is Floyd holding the aircraft purchase and sale agreement right after signing it. Does he look disappointed in the terms of the sale? This is the text Jonah sent to Floyd in September 2025, indicating that the house and airplane contracts were done, and Floyd responded, "Let's go." To make it even more clear that Floyd knew about the plane purchase and the terms of the purchase and sale, here's a text between Floyd and Jonah where Floyd writes, "Can you call me about the plane, please? I need for you to update me, please." And Jonah responded, "Plane is ready to close." Jonah saved hundreds of private images, screenshots of text messages, and I can understand why he did it. They were dealing with millions upon millions of dollars. Floyd was going broke, and Jonah worried that Floyd was going to start blaming those around him for his financial problems. Back in November 2025, Jonah sent this message to Floyd saying, "I can help continue to create income for you for life, but you need to start saving more money."
And it's just, this right here just shows you what happens, man, when you get in bed with them people, man. Because at the end of the day, like I said, $750 million, if he was living off of, man, he can live off of 2% of that and still have his money, man. You know, he got the right investments. He got the right investments. He could be living off $14, $15 million a year just chilling. He came from nothing and still be flossing, right? So this right lets me know that it was all something in the game. They told him how he was going to make the money, when he going to make the money, because they control the banks, they control everything. You heard what happened when Kanye was going through it. They made a phone call and said don't nobody work with him. They shut his bank accounts down. They did all this. They show you how they run the game. He pledges allegiance to the people over there across the street. I ain't got to say no names, right? So now he's going through what he's going through. He got to hold, he got to hold that L. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all made it this far in the video. Do you think that Floyd is a victim? Y'all let me know what y'all think.